Hey guys, not much is happening at the moment in the bird gallery. I'm still gonna make themed cages, so if you have any suggestion, comment below. So it's time to answer some of your questions. One question I get asked a lot is, can you mix this bird with another bird? My answer is always, with enough space, a lot of species can live together. So time to make a video about it. I'm not gonna go through all the birds to see if they can be mixed together, but I will go over some rule of thumb and mention some common species. We will start with finches. Can different species of finches live together in one aviary? Depending on which species, yes they can. I also have multiple species of finches together in my aviary. Again, with enough space, most species of finch can live together. One rule of thumb I use is to mix species with the same nature together. So shy birds with shy birds and more dominant aggressive species with more dominant species. Of course you always have exceptions and every bird has its own character. Therefore it's always important to monitor your birds daily to see how things are going. Some examples of species with a more calm behavior are the Gouldian finch, star finch, plum-headed finch, society finch, cordon bleus and most parrot finches. Some examples of more aggressive species are the diamond firetail, the cutthroat finch, weaver finches, but also the zebra finch, can be really bully sometimes to other species. Long-tailed finches and owl finches fall a little in between these two groups. Most of these more aggressive species can coexist together, but can express very aggressive behavior during the breeding season. In a big aviary with lots of places to hide, with lots of greenery and stuff, these species can live together, but you should always keep an eye on them. The next is size. It's wise to keep species together of roughly the same size. In this way one species doesn't have an advantage over the other. This is in relation with their character. Owl finches, for example, are very small, but will chase away anything from their nest, doesn't matter how big it is. Other bigger species can be so shy that their size doesn't even matter. When mixing species, do keep in mind that some species can interbreed. This is not desirable because most people don't want them, or it can give disabled or infertile birds. For example, the long-tail finch can interbreed with black-throated finches and masked finches. It is always wise to check with which species they can interbreed and don't house these together. Canaries. Can canaries live with finch species? Also, yes, I've had canaries with my finches before and my dad still has. But canaries are relatively shy birds and are easily disturbed by others during the breeding season. Species as zebra finches and diamond firetails can chase canaries away from their own nest. It is better to choose for more shy birds to put with canaries. Again, the size of your aviary does matter. Doves and pigeons. Most doves and pigeons don't really have a dominant nature, but here the size matters of both birds and aviary. In big aviary it's very easy to keep them together with finches or canaries. So you can definitely mix finches, doves and canaries together. I've had multiple species together and I was able to breed them successfully. But always make sure to do your research beforehand and monitor your birds daily. For parakeets and parrots it's different. Most bigger species can coexist with other species and are often housed separate. The most famous one, the budgie, is not always an easy species and most often can't coexist with most other species of the same size. They are mostly housed with cockatiels, a bigger but very easy bird. Parakeets, Burke's parrot and neophemus are easy birds which can be housed in mixed aviaries. Lorikeets, rosellas, lovebirds and conures are more dominant species and are better housed alone in couples. Can parakeets and parrots be housed with finches? Well, you do see that a lot, however it can go horribly wrong. The beak of the parakeets and parrots is much stronger and can do a lot of damage to a finch. But if you do want to keep them together, make sure you have a very big aviary with lots of cover for the finches to hide. Keep the more shyer species of parakeets with the more dominant species of finches. In this way the smaller finches will stand their ground. Zebra finches are most often mixed with parakeets. Last, quails. Most quails can be housed with other species. They occupy a different part of the area, which makes it easier to house them together with finches or parakeets. The most common species are the Japanese quail and the Chinese button quail. Both species are perfect to be housed with other birds. Other species of quails sleep on branches like the bow-white quail. For these quails you need a bigger aviary to house them together with other birds. Otherwise they could hit or scare the smaller birds when attempt to fly. Do remember when mixing birds, and especially different groups of birds like parrots and finches, that this can spread diseases you didn't see at first. One group can cope with it so you don't see it, but it can harm other groups of birds instantly. At last, some tips. If you do have a mixed aviary, make sure you have multiple feeding areas. This way the most dominant species won't be able to chase away everyone from the food, and also the more shy birds can eat. And if you do have multiple species, most often they also require different food. Make sure all the types of food are widely available. Have enough hiding spaces and branches for your birds to sit on. However, also make sure the birds can still fly so they can get away from each other. Do your research before you buy them. Ask the breeder or look for information on the internet. And last, as I mentioned earlier, every bird is different and has its own personality. The species-specific characteristics can give you an idea about their nature, but individuals can always be different, so monitor your birds daily. That's it for now. I hope you liked this video. If so, press that like button and consider subscribing. And remember, stay happy and always love your birds. Bye bye!